I talk a lot, and like, you're too noisy. I said, you don't have to be around me.
Friendship may actually go beyond just relating on
A superficial basis.
basis.
There's the adage that says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
There are some of us who are not very good at regular visit, but because they are friends,
You have
in
to.
order to maintain that friendship.
The emotional state of the parents is usually directly proportional to the emotional state of the children.
Hello viewers, welcome again to our favorite family show right here on Equa Television International, The Living Room. My name is Amaka Ocheke, and today we have something very interesting we want to discuss today. Last week, the 16th of May, I'm already going ahead of myself, was the International Day of the Boy Child. And we haven't really been focusing on the boy child so much. And so today we decided I want to talk about the boy child. And so with me in the studio here to discuss this interesting issue is some very important personalities, VIPs, and I'm sure you'll be very happy to meet them. So we have with me here Mr. Luther Gamma. Luther, you're welcome. Yeah, and we have Dr. Ferdinand Ogbaji, best known as Fedi to his friends. He's a public health physician at the Jos University Teaching Hospital.
Thank you for having me, ma.
Yes, and Luther is, no, tell me the name of your school.
True Breed Christian School.
Yes, and he's in JS3, right? Almost going to SS1. So he'll give us real life situations. So let's start with you, Dr. Ferdinand. What is it about? Why all this? Well, I don't want to call it noise, but why all this sound about the boy child? What is it about the boy child?
Well, many people would be wondering why.
Yes.
Like, of course, we know it's a man's world. Why bother talk about the man again when they are the cause of all our problems in the world? But if you think about it, you realize that we've been talking a lot about the girl child. And I'm not saying we're talking too much about the girl child. I'm just saying we've stopped talking about the boy child. And to an extent, the boy child has become relegated, neglected to an extent. And the main focus is now on the girl child. And what you don't, if you have a plant and you don't watch it, you don't nurture it, you don't just look at the garden, you know what happens. It overgrows, the weeds come, and when you turn back, you can't even recognize what you left off. So I think that's why all the sound.
So that we don't say noise, all the sound about the boy child.
The boy child, yeah.
Okay. So, okay, Luther, let's get to you. Are there specific issues that you think the boy child has? Or no issues? You don't think we should be talking about them?
No, there are definitely issues.
Okay.
There are lots of stereotypes about what is considered to be a boy. So, to the point that if you are unique, you are weird. Let's call it that. So it's, and what they call it, we have been felt left out because everybody's always talking about the girl, and nobody's talking about the problems, the issues that boys face. And
so boys face any
yes,
problem?
Of course we do.
From what you said, is a man's world, so people are having it easy, you are just enjoying yourselves, things are moving well. What kind of problems?
Okay.
Viewers, please clean your ears out very well so that we hear what the problems boys have. Just start with one. Fedi will support you.
Okay. So, let's start with the stereotypes. So there's this stereotype that every boy is supposed to be a, what they call it, should I say fanatic, sports or video game addict.
Okay, so they must be addicted to sports,
Yeah.
okay, video games.
So
okay.
when you don't do that, you're like
Weird.
Yeah, weird.
Okay.
When you're those okay, when you show public affection to your mother, yeah.
Yes, they had told me that boys refuse to show public affection. So when my first child was becoming a teenager, I prepared myself that we're no more going to be hugging and all that. And to my surprise, pleasantly, my son didn't change. And I said, aren't you going to stop hugging me? He says, for what? I said, they will laugh at you. He says, I don't care. It gladdened my heart, that I could still, because even the ones, some of my friends, the ones who their sons agreed to hug, they'll give side hug. When their mother, they'll turn this way for their mother. But my son says, and he didn't care what anybody had to say. And I was so happy that my son was willing to prioritize our relationship. Yeah, and that was great for me. Okay. Other things. Okay, maybe Fedi will help you with some, because Fedi was once a boy.
I still am.
No, you're a man now.
A boy at heart.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of things to say if we think about the challenges and the problems of the boy child. Let's look at it this way. Let's look at the problems of the world. Let's say violence, for example. Who are the perpetrators? The major perpetrators of physical violence, let's even start with that, is the boy, is the male. If you look at, in fact, a place like Africa, some of the statistics say that the boy child is 20 times more likely to have experience with juvie or prison or jail, as the case may be, compared to the female child. So when you talk about substance use, drugs, who are the major users? Is majorly usually the boys. When you talk about perpetrators of some of these vices and violence, is most times majorly the boys.
Cult.
Based on the cult. It's the boys. And it has everything to do with that toxic masculinity that we really sell to the boy child right from birth to the point where they engage with society. So the fact that the boy child is involved with most of these things, posing a problem to the girl child and the society. Ultimately, it becomes a problem to the girl child and the society at large. So you see how very significant the problems of the boy child, if not handled, spiral down to all these challenges that the boy child faces, and then translating to the society at large. It's worrisome.
Okay. Now you've talked about societal problems, boy child problems. Now what of personal problems? The boy, as a boy, what are personal problems that boys have? Because I want us to be aware, to highlight them, for us to be aware of those problems, so that parents are more conscious about their boy children and be deliberate about seeing what they can do to help these boys navigate this problem. Because if you don't know that there's a problem, you're not going to do anything about it.
Sure, absolutely. I would look back on my boyhood and even my younger boyhood and even some of the things I still grapple with even till now. One of the things is showing emotions. As a boy, most of my siblings, I have just one sister. Most of my other siblings are boys. There is that expectation for you to be strong, be a man up, and all those things. It just makes me as a person feel like I shouldn't show emotion. I shouldn't show weakness. I shouldn't be seen. Nobody should even see your tears. You shouldn't even see your own tears. So that showing of emotions. So most of the times I bottle it in. It followed me to my relationship with people, even to marriage. I find it difficult to express my feelings to my wife. So sometimes you would have to probe specifically before it comes. Like, I just go very general. How are you? I'm fine. I just want to deal with things myself and figure things out. So that lack of showing emotions really affects the mental health of boys.
Okay, so
And
mental health.
yeah, mental health. So it affects them very, very significantly, and then they hold a lot of things in. And then when they are unable to tackle or cope with those things, other things come in.
They start acting out.
They start acting out, throwing tantrums. You're not understanding them. Sometimes you think, he's just been a teenager. He's just been a boy, and then you feel it is okay. Then I'll come to something very, very important. Hygiene. As a younger person growing up, somehow I just loved the idea of being clean, but there was
I'm a
that.
typical boy.
Yeah, I was not exactly in that regard. I was not exactly a typical boy, and there's that regard. People will start looking at you somehow like, you're just being girly. You're just being girly. Why would you be clean all the time? Why would you? Why do you just want to just look straight all the time? Yeah, a boy, be a boy.
So part of the boy is being dirty,
It's being
smelly.
So yeah, so those are really important things that I would say were challenges for me as a boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luther, do you identify with this man up thing?
Yeah.
Bottling your emotions.
It's really, what they call it, it's really, it's like neglection. Like when everybody's always saying, my parents don't understand me, nobody understands me, causes some boys spiral into depression and all those stuff. And it's like they don't know how to express it because their parents are not really, they are seen it as he said, being a teenager. So it's not really something that they think should be dealt with.
Yeah. So is it like this emotion thing? Is it that? Yes, I know. For my generation, they used to tell boys, "Man up, be a man." Do they still do that to you guys? Do they still do that to you guys?
Yes, they definitely do.
Don't cry.
Yeah, don't cry. Be strong. Don't show your emotions. You're a guy. Stop behaving like a girl.
Okay, if you show emotions, you're a girl.
Yeah, you're behaving girly.
Yeah.
Are you gay?
Oh, wow. I think it's yes, it's important to show emotions. We also want to grow strong men who can support their family, because I can't imagine, I'm just thinking, if something happens in the family and I'm crying and my husband joins with me, that, I don't know how to be, or he's the one now crying publicly and I'm the one consoling him. That I will find strange. But I think maybe, yes, they should be trained to be able to support their families, but also learn that they should also be a safe place where they can vent, where they can express their emotions, where they can cry. And being crying does not make you gay, as you said, or because I think sometimes even this gay issue that has come up, I think for me, I feel that sometimes the problem is because people kind of have been straitjacketed, or in a way, and they feel that if you are able to, if you express yourself in this way, then you must be that. You can't be a normal man and be expressing yourself in that way. So for some people, I think that's why they go that way. I don't know, but those are some of my thoughts. Those are some of my thoughts about that. Okay, so what other, we've talked about emotional issues, not expressing themselves. We've talked about hygiene. So Luther, you're expected to be dirty. Is that what your friends expect of
To
you?
be raz, fly your shirts, let's go, let's keep class.
Okay. So you
Yeah,
are not
bad
supposed
boy.
to. You are not supposed to follow rules.
As a, what they call it, as a bad boy, man. We break the rules.
Okay.
We break rules so we can make them.
Okay.
Make
So-
new ones, right?
So if you keep rules, what's that?
That's you being gay.
Wow, that is interesting. Look
So that's a lot of peer pressure.
Yes.
That's a lot of peer pressure to conform to doing what is wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of peer pressure. So how is the peer pressure?
It's really not funny
Okay.
because that's why most boys nowadays tend to see themselves as gay because they can't.
They can't cope.
Yes, they can't because the pressure is really.
So if you don't fit into what they think a boy should be, then you're gay.
Yes, yeah.
Weird.
That's interesting.
Well, that's interesting to know. Okay, so you need to be ras, according to you, dirty. not take care of yourself, not look so neat and well groomed. Okay, I break the rules. Okay, okay. What of chores at home?
Do your chores.
Are boys expected to do chores? Are they expected to
Yes.
cook, clean,
You are.
or you're only supposed to wash cars? No, I'm not just talking about your own experience, because I know your
Yeah.
mother doesn't take rubbish. But I mean, generally, boys generally, you know other boys. So do they get involved in cleaning, cooking, and all that at home, or it's just to
So-
wash car and then?
So most boys see the kitchen as the, what they call it, the girls'
Place.
area.
But they know how to
Um,
eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I personally don't believe in gender roles. Everybody should do what they are assigned to do. But yeah, washing the car, cutting grass, all those stuff. Those are the male.
Okay. Some of them are hard. Actually.
Some of them are hard,
Cutting
and
grass
the-
can be hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need some energy. All right. Fedi, does any other thing come to mind about challenges that young men, the boy child faces?
Yeah, well, health-wise, some of them I mentioned in the introduction. I think some of these pressures push the boy child to other vices. Okay, because, for example, you as a boy child, you are in the midst of your guys, and then there's a way they are behaving, and it seems like you are not living up to expectations, and then they come and tell you there's something you can take to that will make you feel the way we are feeling, and they introduce you to drugs, to alcohol, and because of the genetic makeup and the genetic implications of substance use, and then the dependence and addiction, it might just be your first time and you get hooked, and for maybe your friends, nothing happens to them, and then the whole thing spirals down, and it also goes to involvement in crime. Okay, it is to break the rules. Luther said it's a boy thing. So there is that masculinity in you getting involved in crime. I've heard issues of gang rape. So where you have a set of boys that lure a girl to a particular place and then they rape her. For some people, it is an expression of masculinity, and to show that you are man enough to do it.
And then others who may not want to, they pressure you.
They pressure
Say,
you.
Won't you join us? Are you gay?
Yeah.
And it's like, that are you gay is a very
It's-
scary word
yeah,
for guys.
yeah.
So are you gay? Then you rape the girl so that you
Uh-huh.
prove to them you are not
Yeah,
gay.
not
Yeah.
gay.
Okay.
So the crime and all those vices, it's a major challenge that the boys face. Another thing is I can think of is, we talk about education. Even though girl child education was a problem, but I think we have overcompensated.
Girls, I went somewhere recently in a med school, because when I was in school, I think in the whole class were like 10 girls. It's now there are medical schools where the class is filled with girls. You can
Yeah.
just see a sprinkling of boys in the class.
Exactly.
And then even in the government, in the private schools, the girls are more. At least
Yeah.
for medicine. I don't know about other courses. But somebody told me that in the schools, generally, private schools, girls are more. Then in the government schools for medicine, where girls used to be few, it's now becoming like 50%. So 50-50. So it's like the girls are overtaking gradually. And I don't know what's happening to the boys.
It's a good thing for the girls from the perspective,
No,
but we
it's
need
good
to
for
look
the
at
girls, but
from
we
the
are the
perspective
boys.
of the boys.
We are the
So
boys.
would you say that the girls are catching up or the boys are dropping off? Those are two different
think
things.
two
I
of them.
think yes, I agree with both, because if you look at the rate of dropouts, it's the boys
It's boys who are dropping out.
who are
of
dropping
school.
out of school for several reasons. And then in families where the economic situation is tough, if somebody needs to drop out to support the family, it's the boy that will usually drop out so that he can work and support the family. So in terms of education, and then when we look at it in line with gender equality, the boys have been neglected to an extent. And I can also think of if we look at, we're in a world where there's a lot of violence, war, crisis, and who are the ones that are holding the boy soldiers,
Yeah, it's boys.
child soldiers. You see them in Sudan, in Nigeria. We see them, boys with ammunitions, holding guns and brandishing them all over. And when it comes to that, you see that they are being denied that right to be a child, to be a boy, to have all those things they should have. And they are forced into this violent world. So I think for us, especially in this environment and our time, is a significant problem that the boy child faces.
Okay. Luther, there's something Dr. Ferdinand raised about education. I just want you to speak to that. What is it? Because I have also noticed, what is it about school that boys don't like? I don't know, I'm noticing they are becoming more and more disinterested in school. They don't care. Because I remember when I was in primary school, I know how many times I fought. Sorry. Because maybe I came first and the boys got angry and they waited for me after school. And somebody like me, I don't back down. If you want to fight, we'll fight. You may win me, but you too, you will know that something happened to you. So they used to, you know, like, because everybody was striving to be the best. But it seems now, I'm not saying you fight, but they don't even care. Even if they come last in class, they really don't care. Why? Why is it like that, Luther? Why are people not interested in school?
I think I would mostly blame that on what they call it, negative influences. Because nowadays everybody is a rapper or a singer, and most of them, 90% of them are dropouts. So it's like, even if I don't make it in school, I will become a rapper.
Wow.
I can drop beats.
Who school help?
And then school na scam.
Yeah, it's people like, what they call it, what's that guy? I think the one that started that cult, where it's like, school is not really...
What's that guy's name? This musician.
Naira Marley.
Yeah, it's him. But he has a PhD. And I'm like, all these boys are blindly following him. Meanwhile, but...
He went to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I would blame that on the negative influence.
Yeah, because for me that's a very sad development, because if boys are not interested in education, that means their future is already bleak. Yeah, their future is bleak. Their economic empowerment is going to be limited, and then parents, they are the ones that will marry these our well-trained daughters. And the cycle of poverty continues, the cycle of oppression, domestic abuse continues, because the girls are doing better, the boys are not doing as well, they are frustrated, and they take it on these are wonderful girls that we have trained. So we have to drag the boys along. We have to drag the boys along. So we've raised a number of issues about what is going on with the boy child. We'll go and break, viewers, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what we will do to make sure, and what you two can do to make sure that we drag these boy children along. What did they say? They say by fire, by force. Whether they like it or yes or not, they have to go along with us. So we'll be back right after the break. Please don't touch that dial. We're here waiting for you immediately after the break. See you.
Democracy is the theory that common people know what they want and deserve to get it good and hard. Join me every Friday, 7 p.m. on National Talk for analysis as well as in-depth perspective on issues as they unfold in and around Nigeria, as well as an opportunity to add your voice.
Welcome, viewers, from the break. Thank you for not touching that dial and remaining with us right here at the living room on Equa Television International. My name is Amaka Ocheke, and we've been talking about the boy child, a commemoration of the International Day of the Boy Child, which held on the 16th of May. Right here, discussing these important issues, as I told you earlier, are some important VIPs. Dr. Ferdinand Ogbaji, who is a public health physician, and also Mr. Luther Gama, who is also a boy child and a powerful just 3 students going on to SS1. So raised issues about the boy child, and we said we will talk about what to do about moving the boy child forward. We need to drag them along because we want a bright future for them and also want a bright future for our girl children, because if our boys are not doing well, automatically our girls wouldn't do well. So one of the things to do is to inform us, which is what we're doing.
Yes.
Yes, we are informing you and we're talking about it. It's a discussion we need to have. So, Ferdy, let's start with you. What do you think we can do to help our neglected boy children?
There's a lot we can do. There's a lot everyone can do. And let me begin from the cradle. Being alive means you were born. And being born means you're born into a family, whether it's a single family or a complete family, which is another issue we can talk about. But we need to begin it from that point. The fact that a child is born into the family. And we know family is the first agent of socialization, like we say. So awareness has to begin from there. And now I'm talking about the parents. The parents need to be aware of the fact that this is a boy child. He is different from the girl child. His needs, his peculiarities are different. The context in which he finds himself socially and culturally are different, and how he sees the world is different. So we need to know that and then pay special attention to the boy child, just like we're paying the girl child to the girl child.
So what I want to bring out from there is that we need to understand that the boy child has needs.
Yeah.
Needs.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we just ignore them, let them just grow anyhow. anyhow. They will all be fine. Last, we'll be fine. But we need to identify just want to point that out, that we need to identify those needs.
Yes. So in that regard, if parents know and they pay attention to their children, they would see when the child has needs. And then, because usually there's a flag, the child will raise a flag. And it can begin from even when they are toddlers throwing tantrums, TTT. They are throwing tantrums. You need to understand that what is making the child throw tantrums may be different from what will make the girl throw tantrums. So as little as that tantrum is, we can start identifying the propensities of the child or proclivities of the child from that early stage.
So pause there. So something else that is coming out from what you're saying is that boy children and girl children are different even from the word go.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
People keep saying that the children are all the same. No. It's environmental or societal conditioning. My experience has been that they are both different from when they are very small. But I just need you to raise it so that people will be conscious of that fact, that boys and girls are different from the beginning.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with any societal condition. They are just genetically different. Okay. Carry on.
So when we identify that, we can guide them appropriately, because if you, as a toddler would understand that you don't want him in the kitchen, and anytime he goes to the kitchen, you tell him no, stay outside, go and stay with daddy. And from that point, it begins to tell him that this environment is not for me. It is for my sister. And if he has an elder sister, he sees that his elder sister is the one that is always in the kitchen. And then when he gets to the point of feeding himself, he finishes, he'll leave the dishes there for his elder sisters to come and pick up. Why? Because he's a boy. And his elder sister should do the job of cleaning up after him. So parents have that responsibility from that early. So if we miss it at that point, we'll have to work double. when they get to another stage, because every stage we miss in the child's growth and development, we will need to compensate and do more in the next stage.
Okay.
So, to the parents.
All right, parents. Many things rise and fall with us. Okay, Luther, what do you think we can do to help you and your guys?
I think, as you said, we have been neglected. So that also means that we don't really have relationships with our parents, which means we don't have safe places. So we can go and look for that safe place with the wrong people or the wrong at the wrong places. Some of us are graced to not have a relationship with our parents, but we find it somewhere at church or a good person, a teacher or somebody at school.
If you are lucky.
If you are lucky. But some other people find it from bad people. Yeah. So I think making a safe place for your child, having a relationship with your child, so you understand what's happening with them and all those stuff.
So
will
I'm
make a
just
big
giving an
difference.
example. Parents, well, I guess this relationship with your kids, even your boy child, has to start very early in life. You know, you are deliberate about talking, hearing them, and listening to them. Okay, let's assume they started late, and they now maybe at this stage in your life now they want to be friends with you, or they want to start relating with you. And a parent,
Yes.
is trying, maybe based on what they've heard now, and they are trying to have a relationship with the boy child. The boy's like, what's that?
It's weird.
What's that? That's weird. Why does mommy want to talk to me? Or she walks into your room and sits on your bed and like, what's going on? So what can a parent do now? Even if the boy is giving cold shoulders and is like, you are being weird, what can we do to make sure, though we didn't start early, but we're just realizing that we should have.
So first of all, thank you to the parents for
For trying.
trying
For
to take
trying.
that step. Yes. I think you shouldn't rush into it because they are not used to you having this relationship, this stuff with them. So it's like if you rush into it, they're like, wait. I think you should take it slowly. Show them that they can talk to you. Have an open relationship with them. Make it known that their feelings are relevant, what they have to say is relevant, and then you can move on from there.
Okay, so don't rush.
Take it slow. Step
till
by step.
they build the trust.
Yeah,
is
built.
built.
Trust is
And
built.
okay, now in the parents talking with you, are there areas you think are areas we shouldn't talk about, and areas we should talk about?
I don't really think there are areas that you should not talk about because if you don't talk about it with them, somebody else will do it for you, and you don't want your children learning from the
Wrong
wrong.
place.
Yeah.
So you should talk about everything.
Yes.
So
you
who
should.
brings up the conversation, the parent or you?
Can go ahead. That
Freddy, what do you
Can go.
think?
I think at some point, if the parents have lost the opportunity to build that trust early in life, like Luther has said, you need to take it slow.
Which is the case for many
Most-
parents.
yes.
For many parents.
You need to take it slow. You need to establish that trust over time. I think one very important thing that can work is parents showing their vulnerabilities, sharing their past feelings and successes. Hard.
Eddie, you want me to tell? So you want parents now to tell, like Luther, maybe Luther's dad will tell Luther that he failed exams. Do you think that would be good?
That is good.
Okay.
Why I think so is because it helps. For example, if Luther was in a situation where he didn't do so well in an exam and he's taking it out on himself, perhaps because of how his parents, the expectations his parents have had of him,
Or what he thinks are
of
his
what
parents'
yes
expectations.
expectation. So if Luther's dad can tell him that at some point in life I also did not do well, and this is what I did to get back to the track. So Luther says that, oh, my dad actually was human and he was a boy
Wow.
like me.
That would be nice if you can tell us you failed, because I think one of the problems or some of the things that young people complain about is that their parents, everybody came first.
Even those are in the same class.
Every parent was first, and we know that that's not true. So we need to, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So come slow. Let them know that you had experiences that they've had. So if they can identify with the fact that the puberty they are going through, you also went through it. The teenagehood they are going through, they also went through it. It's easier for them to identify with that, and then with time, they may share. And then what children do is they release information in cues and in bits.
Aliquots.
Yeah.
Small.
So they see how you respond, then they decide if they want to go deeper. Sometimes they may just release something and you are tempted to overreact. Please don't overreact.
I've learned, I've learned not to overreact, and I realized the more I don't overreact, the more they release the information.
Yes.
I'm trying. Because my son even told me the other time that I was shocked. He told me something that mommy didn't shout. This boy, you don't know something. I'm learning so that, they could trust.
Yeah. Shout on the inside. Be pinching yourself.
Yeah,
Hold your breath.
maintain.
Just maintain. And just know that you want to help them. And if you don't get everything out, you would not know where to target to help them. Having said that,
but before you move, I just want to ask other areas that fathers can talk. I know Luther said they can talk everywhere, but I just want to ask.
Yeah.
So if they did drugs, you see I'm lowering my voice. If they did drugs, should they tell the children? If they were drinking, should they tell the children?
Yes. Wow. Some of substances have familial and genetic predispositions. And if, I can't remember the pastor, one of these pastors, I can't remember his name, I don't want to call the wrong person. His dad told him that his dad was an alcoholic. And his dad told him, he's not a Nigerian pastor, his dad told him that he had problems with alcohol and it runs in their family. So he knew that this thing happens in my family. So when he had the temptation to try alcohol, he remembered that if he tries, he may not be able to stop. And that's where the genetic part comes in. Because you can start, but when it takes over, you will not be able to stop. And same goes for drugs. So if a parent had experiences with substance use or alcohol, and it affected a particular area of their life, that is where to tell your child that I'm telling you this, not because I want to stop you from, I'm not a killjoy, I don't want to stop you from having fun or feeling excited, feeling high, and feeling that you can do anything. I tried this, and this is where it ended me. This is where it led me to. This is how it shortened my potential. It makes it real for the child.
You don't think it would reduce the child's respect for his father or his mother if they tell you, no, Luther, you're shaking. Okay, let's hear what Luther has to say. So if, as a parent, I tell you some of the wrong decisions I took, do you think, would it lower your view and respect of me? For example, if I was your mother and I say, these are some of the things I did, what would be?
I think that would make me respect you more. Cause that
wow. Okay.
Because that shows that you are able to be vulnerable, learn from your mistakes, all those stuff. You want me to, because you're not like every other parent that is like, I came first in class.
I never did anything wrong in my life. I've been perfect since I was small. Okay.
So it shows that you are real. Let's say that. So
yeah, I wanted you to say that so that parents don't think that, especially the dads. Sorry, you are the ones who always like behave as if you are so perfect and you've never done anything wrong in your life. It won't reduce the respect the children have for you if you tell them your mistakes and your challenges and how you overcame or how it has shortened or prevented you from achieving your potential, as Fedi had said. Okay, Fedi, back to you again.
Okay.
The things they will do.
I think it's important to have both mother and father figure in the family for the boy child, especially the father figure for the boy, because we can talk about role modeling in different stages, but at the family level, the first primary role model for the boy child is his father. And his statistics have shown that a child is most likely to repeat his father's mistakes. So if a father was an alcoholic, the likelihood of the child being an alcoholic is higher if a father was abusing his wife in whichever means, physically, emotionally, or otherwise, is most likely that the child would abuse the female partners in his life, from friends to partners and spouses and wives later in life. So the presence of that father figure in the home for the boy child is very important, and it cannot be overemphasized. So fathers need to be present for their boy children. And unfortunately, there may be instances where the fathers are not available, either because of loss, the father is deceased, or the mother ab initio was a single mom, the father was never in the picture. That is where we have societal role models. So you can have a father figure in the society. It can be in your church, it can be in your community, it can be even in your school. So the boy child needs that
So
father
you need
figure.
to be deliberate to be sure that you introduce your boy child to some
Yes, early.
early,
Yeah.
some male,
Yeah.
good male figure, not just a male
Mm.
figure. You don't want an armed robber to be the role model. Okay,
Yeah.
now back to, let's look at fathers,
Yeah.
because since you said fathers are the most important role models, Luther, what do you think a father should be doing to help his boy be the best that God wants that boy to be?
I think
Just what do you what
There's
do
a
you
lot,
think?
right?
yeah, there is a lot. A father should, what they call it, as I said earlier on, be real with your child, so that they can know that you made mistakes and they should learn from those mistakes. He should, what they call it, family things passed down from family, emotional,
So you should be
whatever.
conscious of that. And
Yes,
this could be a
you
problem for your
should-
child.
yes. You should let them know. What else? You should teach them how to be a proper man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So aside from just modeling, you also need to have discussions.
Yeah.
Yes.
How to be a proper man.
Yeah.
Okay. Freddy, you let us in on the secret. How do you be a proper, how is it, what is it, what does it take to be a proper man? Well, I know Jesus is our model.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is. He is. There's a concept called positive masculinity, and the alternate is a toxic masculinity. It's the fact that the boy or the male should be able to express himself, okay, and he should be able to relate with the female in an equal manner. In the beginning, God made males and females equal, and the boy child has to understand that his genetic makeup in terms of his strength is not to rule over the female. He needs to understand that it is to protect the female. If he is even physically stronger than the female, it is for him to protect the female. So the male child needs to understand that, yes, I have to protect the female. I'm different from her. I'm not to rule over her. And then showing that to the female, it's a sign of positive masculinity. Your ability to express your emotions is a sign of positive masculinity. And the fathers can model that to the child. In addition, I think a way the father can also be involved in the child's life is to be present in all stages of the child's life. Be available, be present.
Yeah.
In school, in the child, just be there in every stage in the child's life, in
So
their
participating-
successes,
Participate in school runs.
Yeah.
Take your children to school, pick them up from school, school activities, be there, PTA meetings, don't leave it for only the women. Come there and learn the male voice, because if you allow women, we'll do only what we think our children should experience, and that includes the male child, and we're not males, so
Yeah.
we really may not know what is best for our boys.
Yeah.
So we need you on the PTA
meetings.
yeah, PTA meetings, on the committees, to run things, and then come for our programs, football games,
Yes.
come watch, drama, come watch, chairs on. Don't say I don't have time for these kind of things. Yeah, visiting, because I've heard some men say, when I was young, nobody visited me. I don't know why these children want them to. Every day they are visiting. Every day they are visiting. Please visit. visit, and that's another opportunity to talk.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a conversation. Don't sit in the car pressing your phone, reading papers while the mother and the children are talking. Then when they are done, it's okay. Can we go? That's what some dads do. Please make sure you take time to talk to the kids, especially your boys. Talk to them. Find out how they are doing. Advise them on how to cope with things.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing as if I'm teaching them how to be men.
So
Yeah.
they know how to be men.
Okay, Luther, I think we've brought up this issue seriously, that parents need to be hands-on with their boys, especially our fathers. We need to model what it means to be a man to our kids. Now, what else can be done to help the boy child, apart from immediate family, as Ferdinand had started? Who else can play a role in helping you?
Uncles.
So other relatives.
Yeah, other relatives can make a difference. Where I don't want to say the father is lacking, but
Unavailable.
Sometimes,
yeah, unavailable.
yeah.
Yes.
And then even when your father is available, if you have extra layers of help,
Yeah.
There's no
there's nothing.
The more the
even
merrier.
the more the merrier. Yeah, and I think for that, I'd really ask parents to also be deliberate, to let other people be able to speak in your children's lives. You know, to be able to mentor and help your children. Because sometimes I have noticed, sometimes the things you say, the children don't take it as serious. But when this other
Comes from
uncle comes
outside.
and says it,
They're
they're like, yeah, they take it very, very seriously. And sometimes my son has even told me that there are some things he can't do. And I said, why? When I think of, he now mentioned uncle this, uncle that, I don't know how to face them. It's not even also, he said, I don't know how to face these uncles in church. And so, I won't do this so, because I have thought about it. I can't face them. They'll be so disappointed in me. I said, what of us? Live on your own. You know, so I think sometimes other people speaking in our children's lives will be good.
Yeah.
Okay, who else? Or what else can the rest of us do?
In line with that, I think it's one of the things that young people look out for everywhere they go is somebody that is where they want to be.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a doctor, for example, there's a doctor you have seen that you say, oh, this is the kind of doctor I want to be. Whether that doctor knows it or not, you are already looking at that doctor. That doctor is already modeling for that child. So everyone in the society, every man in the society should know that he is a role model
For somebody.
for a boy somewhere. So if they don't have that, you see where people have those musician idols. And then because they have not seen something better in society. So we need to position ourselves in the society in that sense, so that when young people look up to us, they would want to become like us. And we know that when they come closer, we know who we are trying to become, and we can point them to Jesus, because that is our ultimate goal. So it's important we are not careless in our community engagement, in our homes, to your neighbors' children, in church, to other younger people coming up, in the workplace, to younger colleagues. It's important we recognize that we need to put ourselves in that position that younger ones can look up to you. Many times the older ones are like, these young ones, they don't want to be mentored. They are not coming to ask questions. They should come and ask us questions, but you are not what they want to be.
Oh,
They are not what they want to be,
yeah,
so they will
that's
not come.
a blow. Okay, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they don't, they would look for other role models out there that will become their idols, that would not be the best for them. So when
let's
they see
be the best at whatever it is that
yes.
we do. And I keep wondering, those who are football stars, does it mean that, because I see anybody who wants to be a footballer, they think they have to plait their hair, they think they have to fill their bodies with tattoos, because I think that's what they've seen
Yeah.
with
The
people
major
who play
stars.
football. Anybody who sings must also look weird, you know. So I ask myself, why can't you be a musician and just have a normal haircut and just look normal? What's wrong with that?
absolutely nothing.
But they don't look normal. They refuse to look. I think one of the things I noticed, people who feel that they are I don't know, is it talented or gifted? People feel do you feel that giftings or those things, creatives, that's the word.
Yeah.
Those who are creatives comes with looking weird. So if I have to be a musician, I have to be a poet, I have to be a writer, I must just look weird. And I think it's because older people have modeled that. And that's why young people think that if I'm going to be a creative, then I must have strange hair, I must have tattoo, I must dress strange.
You don't have to, really. You don't have to. What is selling you out, if I put it that way, initially, is your creative talent. And if you insist, because of your excellence and creativity, nobody will box you. Yeah. You may lose some deals, but your excellence will speak for you eventually.
They'll come look
and
for you.
when you have people that stick to their guts that way, there are other people that get the courage to do same. So you now realize, we are not few like I thought, that want to just, I don't want to use the word normal, because the normal seems to be the other one you are describing, that just want to stand out, really. Okay. And there are people like that would want to stand out. So when you stick to your guns and say, okay, this is my creativity, this is my talent, this is my gifting, and this is why I am here, you will not force me into your own mold. I have my own standards and I will stick to it. If that platform is not agreeing to take you there, other platforms and perhaps better platforms that would accept your talent for who you are.
Okay, because the time is almost up. Church. What can church do to help the boy child? Because I know one thing, many of you don't want to be pastors, right? The pastors don't look like what you want. I mean, a pastor is a good thing now, but I know many young boys don't want to be pastors. So even children of pastors, they're like, God forbid, I don't want to. So what can church do to help the boy child to achieve his potential? Not necessarily become a pastor, but I mean, just be the best you can. Maybe do that.
Okay, I think be more, outspoken, deliberate. Okay. Talk about these things more often.
Okay, so we should have this discussion in church.
Yes,
okay.
We should. I think we should be able to take care of, not neglect the boy child too. Also, yes.
So what can we do? Church programs, what kind of things? How do you want church to be that will make you? Because I also noticed that many of the boy children are also not interested in things of God. Generally, no, you are. But I mean, but you know what I'm talking about. Yes, once they are able to resist going to church, being active in church, and their parents can't force them anymore, they stop. Yeah. Many of them are. Yeah, I know. Even daddies are not. Many daddies are not in church. So what can we do? Maybe Fedi, what can the church do?
I think first, boys? People would always go back to where they find help, or where speaks to them. Yeah. So we need to contextualize our church activities to the child for his age group. And if you have churches where there are Sunday schools, most of the time they are into age groups, and those activities are specific to those age groups. And you need to bring like-minded people, ages together, so they can interact with each other in friendly environment. You have picnics, you have hikings, you have barbecues.
So Sunday school teachers, pay attention. Don't come frowning. You don't like Sunday school teachers that frown. Okay, so don't come frowning. Have interesting activities.
Yes, have interesting activities that would engage the child, and that comes by knowing what the child is interested in at that point in life, and then you can build those activities and get them engaged. Make it fun. Let it be lively. Audio, visuals. Let children hear something nice. Let them see something colorful.
So Sunday school shouldn't be boring.
Teachers
shouldn't be boring. We should up our game. We should up our game. Okay. Luther, is there something else you want to tell us about what church should do to help the boy child?
Basically just what he said. Build a community. Let's build relationships, build a community, so that we'll have a reason to come to church.
Okay. And I think also for the older people, I think let's be deliberate about seeking out friendships with these younger ones. as you said, they are saying they are not asking us questions. Don't wait for, I don't think we should wait for them to ask us questions.
Yes.
Let's be asking them. So
Yeah.
after church, I disturb Luther a lot. Like, so how is life? What's happening with you?
Yeah.
So let's ask them. Let's not wait. I know in our culture we have respect. We want people to greet us, ask us. But I think we should be more deliberate to reach down to them. Okay, I think time is almost up. For the last words.
My last words would be to the body of Christ and the church. It's
Which
free.
one? To the church in Sardis or to church? Okay.
The church
don't mind
in
me.
Nigeria.
Church in Nigeria. Okay, church in the world. This Equa TV.
Yeah,
International.
international to the
So,
world.
yeah.
We have free access to these boys. Free access on a very regular basis, at least once a week. On Sundays, very free access. And they are coming to us. Let's seize the opportunity and have those regular contacts, very deliberate contacts. It might just be 5-10 minutes after service every Sunday. You will not know how far that can go. And then be the positive role model that this boy child would want to look up to and would want to become. And the best place to be that is within the body of Christ and the home.
Wow. Hear you what the Spirit speaketh. To the church. But seriously, Fedi has said something very, 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 very serious. Okay, Luther,
Yes, to the boys or to the
to everybody, what can we do to help the boy child?
let us care for them as much as we care for the girl child.
Okay. Do you want to, okay, you want to say something to the boy child? Okay, say.
Okay, so let us stop the stereotypes. Let us be good boys.
And stop breaking rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stop breaking rules. So viewers, thank you so much for staying with us to the very, 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 very end, talking about the boy child and celebrating International Day of the Boy Child. We don't want to neglect them. We want them to be all that God wants them to be, so that the community is good. The girl child too.
Yeah.
All the things we have sown in the girl child can also yield fruit, so that we don't have boy children that frustrate these girl children from achieving what they need to achieve. So if we concentrate on the boy child also, as we do along with the girl child, everybody will grow up to be all that God wants them to be. Fathers, please, 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 be available for these boys. And as Luther says, tell them everything. Tell them everything. Be real. Be real. That's what we're saying. Be real. Don't pretend to be what you are not. Let them know that you have feelings. Let them know that you have challenges and how you have overcome them through the help of God and the support of your church community. Thank you so much, viewers, for being with us to the very end. As I said earlier, my name is Amaka Ocheke, Dr. Ferdinand Ogbaji, and Mr. Luther Gama have been with us and discussing this very important issue. Please, let's put to practice the things we have learned so that our boys can be better and go in the direction that God wants them to be. Thank you so much, and God bless you.